Arthrak. Will I be fine?
I hope that's how the episode starts. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast where we talk about all things 3DO, the 3DO company, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, I'm good, Bill. I'm trying to avoid the law. I fucking hit some bastard with a car. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I hate to break it to you, Threk, but I think we got him in the chat. Hi, Tony. How's it going?
God damn it.
Uh,
The one time I'm in Florida.
Thrak hit me with his car, and then he just left me there. I mean, he blamed it on some other guy that just so happened to
my
drive
security
up after
guards
I was on the ground.
My security guard said he would handle it, and he did not.
Oh, he handled it.
Just not well. Not well. He's back. He's on the job market now, so
he should be on the job market. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing that happened that day because I did play Alone in the Dark 3 before that happened.
Good thing we're not playing that today.
Yeah,
it's not. There's a reason why it was never ported.
Oh, is that one PC only?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very boring.
Ironically, it goes back to the characters from the first game.
Yeah, she's in there for like 3 seconds, and she kind of just like leaves you. You see it like twice, and she doesn't have any. Every other, it's like a random character. It's just like, oh, hey, and I'm Emily's friend, but like Emily herself isn't voiced like at all.
That's fun. So, Tony, every time we have a guest, we always like to ask, what was your first experience with 3DO, if you had any? And it's okay if it was this podcast because that's a common answer.
I remember seeing like commercials. And I don't think I ever saw one in the wild. Like maybe I did. There's this place called Incredible Universe. It was kind of like a super mall kind of, but it was really in a big building, like a big warehouse that's now a Home Depot. But I think maybe I played one there. That's it, I guess. Besides like ads and like GamePro.
That's fair.
Yeah, you were like what, like 12 when it came out?
I don't fucking know. What year did it come out? Like 95?
93.
93.
93? I was 10.
10, okay.
I mean, I wasn't born yet.
We weren't.
I think I was conceived by the time it was
I
out.
think what's it called? It's like some like cyberpunk game, kind of like FMV game.
Oh,
Cyber something or some shit.
Cyberdillo?
That's Cyberdillo.
Okay.
And
Cyberdillo.
Like an hour.
I think there's a game. It's called Hell, a cyberpunk thriller.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's one of the few games I have in my stack that we haven't covered yet. Has Dennis Hopper in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Look into that.
Oh, yeah.
Burn Cycle. Burn Cycle is the game I'm thinking of.
Burn Cycle.
Because I think I might have played a demo of that at the thing, and it scared me.
Oh my god! Well, that's the CDI.
The CDI. Oh, it's on PC too. I remember it was a CDI. That's even worse. So
yeah,
I just remember there was like a thing. It's like your brain's gonna explode. There's a bomb in it, and it scared me because I was 10 or 9.
I'm entranced by the cover of Burn Cycle.
I
can't stop looking at it
because I have a copy like I found on thrift store years ago for like $1. Like obviously like I never played it because it's probably a pain in the ass to get to run on modern hardware, especially now since like no one has CD drives anymore.
Yeah, I mean you can buy third-party ones, but
it's not GOG.
I checked it. I don't think it is. Shit! It is. It is. Yes.
How much is it?
Hold on. Let me get to it. Oh no, it's not. It's
on a wish list.
It's on the list of like vote to preserve this game.
Maybe it's on archive, and it's like
you can go to My Abandonware. It's probably on there.
It's CDI version. I'm seeing it. We're completely. I mean, Alone in the Dark. Who cares? This is more interesting.
Burn Cycle. Yeah. It's on My Abandonware. It's right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe you guys can do it for your 3DO, and then I can play it with you
Sure,
guys.
sure. This looks like a nightmare. It might be. It might have
It
something.
was I
It might have
I
something
mean
interesting.
I was like a kid, so I just remember I think it was a big deal.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it's like it's not going to be good. You just hope it'll be interesting. That it'll have something
I
to
mean,
talk about.
I think it was well regarded at the time. I don't know. I was like 9. I
Yeah,
also thought Earthbound was a big deal, and nobody bought it but me.
I mean, I could see why you'd think that they released it in the big box with the strategy guide and everything.
I mean,
So
the
that could be-
it's not surprising the game bombed. The advertisements literally told everyone
Yeah,
the game sucked.
I didn't know a thing about it. I just remember I went to like some like random store in that same Incredible Universe. That was like 90, whatever fuck the year the game came out.
Mm.
And then I just remember seeing this big ass box. I'm like, what is that? So I took it because it's probably really expensive when I was 10, 11, maybe. And I thought I was like, oh, this is gonna be some cool like add-on, and it was a fucking strategy guide.
Yeah.
That I left at someone's house that never gave it back to me, and now it's worth like hundreds of dollars. So
The freaking cardboard insert for that fucking
I
box
fucking
is worth
wish
hundreds
like
of dollars.
my parents are always like, just throw it away, and like I could have just folded it up and put it in a box. Because I think
Oh,
I kept my Super Metroid box for a long time until eventually I think it just deteriorated.
So
Anyway,
we do have our news segment. Any major news, Thrick?
Let's see here. This one, it's only a little bit relevant. Doom: The Dark Ages is supposedly id Software's biggest launch because they have it said they reached 3 million players 7 times faster than usual. So good for them. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because if you go to the SuperPod's website, I wrote a whole review about Doom: The Dark Ages. So if you want to hear my thoughts about that, please go check that out. Because
if you want to read his thoughts, Danny hasn't read it yet.
yeah, I have a bit of a. I guess I wasn't as thrilled with it as some other people. Like I'm noticing an interesting. I don't want to say controversy, but like more of a mixed opinion than I suspected. But also, I didn't really love the game as much as I was hoping. I did enjoy my time, but it's definitely. I was thinking it feels like it's like a watershed moment for the series. You know?
I'm not seeing like only buzz of software with some like critic reviews, but like everyone else is like, oh, it's fine. Or like on certain servers, I didn't like it. I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah. Our friend Burger Champ was very critical.
There's a few people I was like, oh, I give it a 5. I'm like, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I haven't played it yet. I'll play it. I don't know. Now I'm like, I'll wait.
If you have Game Pass, it's absolutely worth playing.
I mean, I do have Game Pass, but I haven't beat the second one yet. So,
Eternal is so much better.
Fine. I have other
Eternal.
fucking shit I need to do. Like I'm gonna need to get through. It can be in the bottom of the list. It's fine.
No big deal. But yeah, go read my thoughts on Doom: The Dark Ages. Okay, I had a lot to think about with that game. Anyways, I don't know if you guys remember it was one of those recent Nintendo Directs. They did the whole like arcade archives, and they're bringing back the original Ridge Racer. Right? It was announced for Switch 2. It's coming to everything else.
Oh, good.
So it's coming to Switch 1, PlayStation, and Xbox. Thank God. It comes out June 5th, and it's $15.
Oh, cool.
That's
so
fair.
I will be buying it, and I will be playing it.
My only hope is that it does well and it leads to them re-releasing Type 4 because that's like the best one.
Or maybe just making a new Ridge Racer.
That'd a new game would be nice too. I really would love to play like an upscaled version of like Type 4.
Did you guys see the footage of like Namco was making a new Ridge Racer like for the Switch and it got canceled, but it was a while ago. They like the footage of it got leaked and it was like fully it looked like it was close to done, or at least the little slice we saw was really good. So they did try, but I don't know why it got canned.
I know the last Ridge Racer that came out was that.
I'm still here. I just had a.
That bird's a big fan of Ridge Racer.
The bird is just a big fan of Bill. No, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay. I was gonna say it's Shelley Duvall. She's like, it's a bird's life.
You should have had it for bird's life.
The
last Ridge Racer was 360, wasn't it?
it was Unbounded, which was like a weird arcadey spin-off that a lot of people didn't like because it didn't play like Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
The last like real one I think was that one on PS3, like 7, I think.
Yeah. Seven's actually, weirdly enough, it's backwards compatible on Xbox. Like when I was searching for this to wish list it, it wasn't on there. But they're like, oh, you can get that 360 Ridge Racer. Like I think it's 7, and I was like, I heard people didn't like it, so I didn't bother.
Yeah,
But yeah. Type 4 is great. It'd be cool if they did a nice port of that, but who knows? It's Namco. You never know what they're gonna do.
yeah.
Let's see. Mario and Rabbids developer Ubisoft Milan is hiring for a AAA Rayman game. So basically they have decided to actually go through with a new Rayman game. I don't know what AAA means, but it seems to, they're trying to do a new Rayman game. Whether or not this will actually develop into anything, who knows? Because AAA, what does that mean? They're going to make it like a 3D platformer? Are they going to like expand beyond Legends?
Will they bring back the UbiArt engine, which is like one of the coolest engines that no one uses for anything?
Yeah, like Rayman Origins and Legends are two fantastic games. You know, I wouldn't call either of them AAA, but they're just really, really well made games. So, and that's the thing, when you play Legends, you're like, what do you do for the next one?
I would love if they went back to 3D and gave us a true. I wish they would maybe like go back and do like the original idea for Rayman 4, which was gonna be it was gonna be 3D similar to like 3, but the enemy of the game was gonna be the Rabbids.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because they ended up restructuring it into the first Raving Rabbids game, and then
I think
the whole series.
I think a prototype for that game leaked at some point.
I mean, I love 3D Rayman. Like Rayman 2 is like one of the best 3D platformers out there.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Sounds good to me. I mean, I think a Rayman game here and there would be good for Ubisoft to kind of break up the monotony of them. So who knows? Maybe they'll do a big old Mario Odyssey type game for Rayman. I don't know if copying Mario Odyssey for Rayman would work, but who knows? Maybe instead of moons, you have to collect the rabbits.
Yeah, build a tower. Bring back Rabbids Go Home. Just build a fucking pile of shit.
Well, that is a question I have. Do you guys think they would bring the Rabbids back for like a big Rayman game? Because they weren't in Origins or Legends. They weren't there.
No.
I mean, they're also like still super popular, I think. Or people think of them. I don't know.
Well, they did the Mario plus Rabbids games.
Oh, yeah,
those are
solid.
Those are surprisingly good strategy RPGs.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
they're having the right to be.
Maybe they'll make it like a kind of like a parody game where, like, you know, on the Rabbid game, the Mario Rabbid games, like you'll see like the Mario clones, and you have like the Princess Peach and everything. Maybe they'll do like a parody game like that with them, but like over the top.
An Ezio Rabbid.
Like,
yeah, and
I don't hate the rabbits when they're used well.
Like it's Mario Odyssey, but like from Wish, which is all the rabbits.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think one of the best like mini games like ever was like in Rabbids Go Home. There's literally a mini game where it's a rabbit inside your Wiimote, and you just shake the shit out of the Wiimote and like press the buttons and just like freaking torture this thing inside the Wiimote.
They knew what people wanted to do with the rabbits.
Oh yeah, it's like this was totally like they were like, okay, we get it, guys. Here, have fun.
But yeah, hopefully we see something. Who knows? What do you guys think we'd see first? This AAA Rayman game or Beyond Good and Evil 2?
The Rayman game, because that game is going to come out.
They still say they're working on it.
That's the new Duke Nukem Forever.
It's been in development longer than Duke Nukem Forever.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if it came out like 2 years ago, it would have just been shy of missing the record, but now it's like it's Duke Nukem Forever territory.
So I think it was in like 2018 when they did a big reveal for it with like gameplay and everything, and everybody hated it. So they're like, we'll go back to the drawing board. And
I wasn't a big fan of the first one, so it doesn't bother me.
I played a bit of that remaster that came out not that long ago. It's not a bad game. It's not. I didn't fall in love with it though.
I played it for my old show, so I think that was got released.
Um,
it's fine.
the thing is with like Duke Nukem Forever was like I don't think anything will ever eclipse that game's like development hell, just because that development hell is so fascinating. The amount of different
Yeah.
twists and turns it took.
Yeah, because it wasn't like the guy kept on changing it because he'll change something, and then like Half-Life came out, and he wanted to change like everything again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ron Broussard was
Yeah.
just insane. Like he could not stop tinkering with it.
He could not. He wanted to be on the cutting edge, and when the game came out, it was like 10 years behind the times.
Yeah. But it is exactly what they promised, which is the funniest part about it.
Yeah, it is. It is. We should review that game.
I'd still like to see like a complete or as complete as they can as the original release because it seemed pretty cool.
Oh, the 2001 build that guy
That
pre-ordered.
probably would have been a good game. It looked good.
It would have been,
was-
but then like I said, like I think like Half-Life came out around that time, and he was like, "Oh shit, I need to change everything again."
Well, because I know that version was built off the Unreal Engine, because the original was built off the Quake 2 and no, it wasn't Quake 2. It was the original was based off the original Quake engine, and then I think it was shifted over to the Quake 2 engine.
Yeah.
And then like Unreal came out, and he's like, fuck, we got to do Unreal next. Then that 2001 build came out. That one guy pre-ordered it, and then it never came out. But they did. I do believe they actually did give that one guy who pre-ordered it. He actually got this really cool special edition.
Yeah, he got the game and he got a bunch of like PC accessories and all that. Like Gearbox and 2K did treat him well, which was nice.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, what's next? Oh yeah, another thing. That's like another in the saga of Xbox is crumbling, guys. Was a Hellblade 2 coming to PS5 this summer.
But wasn't that always a time delay, a time release?
Well, no, because Ninja Theory is owned by Microsoft, so they had never said anything about it.
But I mean, the first one went released and everything. Do you think they'd want to capitalize on it?
Well, the first one, Ninja Theory made that, and they were purely independent. So, and then they got.
I don't think that's some kind of like big surprise. Why wouldn't Microsoft want to bring out a game that did very well?
Yeah, they got scooped up after one, and then Hellblade 2, I remember, was the first game shown off for the series when it was unveiled to be like, oh, look how powerful this thing is. And I still say to this day, Hellblade 2 might be graphically the most impressive game I've ever played. Like, it looks incredible, especially on console. Probably looks better on PC, but yeah, it's coming to PS5, and I saw a couple people freaking out about it, but I feel like at this point, who fucking gives a shit? Like, again, it's a game that when it released didn't do that well anyways. Like, it didn't get great reviews. But I played it and I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was amazing, but I've certainly I preferred Hellblade 1, but
I thought it was a completely different game for the longest time, so
that's fair enough. I'm more interested in Ninja Theory's next game that they're working on. It's called Project Mara. There's like one little trailer for it, and it's focusing more. It's taking their technology that they've done for the Hellblade games and making more of like a straight psychological horror game out of it.
Oh wow!
So I think it could, and Hellblade has some of those horror elements. So them like going fully into that, I think can be something really cool. So hopefully that comes out eventually. But yeah. I hope they do something really cool with that.
The way I see it is, I don't think Microsoft's dying. I don't think Sony's dying, but I do think the idea of exclusives, at least between those two, is going to start dying.
Yeah,
I think eventually,
we talk about this all the time.
Oh yeah, because I think eventually Sony's going to start giving in a little.
Well, they have been.
Do I see them putting a game on Xbox though?
Oh.
I mean, well, they technically already do with MLB The Show. They already do technically, but
I can see Sony down the line. I could see them maybe releasing like older games, like starting to like bring them over. Obviously, they're going to have timed exclusivity. If they did,
I view it as if the next Xbox is just going to have like Steam integration and it's just going to be a hybrid of a console and a PC, and then you can just play Sony games on an Xbox through Steam, then it's like, yeah, who fucking cares anymore, right? Then I'll play God of War on my Xbox that way and be fine.
I just see the lines between consoles are starting to like blur now, and it's basically just a case of whether whether you prefer the PS5 controller, you prefer the Xbox controller at this point.
Yeah,
That's just
it's basically
how I
just
see it.
it's what ecosystem have you been in the longest, and do you prefer Game Pass or PlayStation Plus?
Yeah.
Really, like it'll be like the services and the experience you have on that console, you prefer one over the other, and not really so much the games.
Yeah.
So
I just like I like my lower sticks. That's really about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, but speaking of Game Pass, Microsoft announced their next line of Game Pass games that are coming out, and we got some good ones in there. They're moving some like Tales of Kinzera. Some people like that game. The Division 2 coming in, which I actually might play it because it looks like a game I might
we
like.
can play together because I have it on. If it's crossplay, it's probably not crossplay.
I hope so. But yeah, I'd like to play Division 2. That game looks cool.
It's fun. It has good shooting mechanics. It feels good. It feels good.
Okay, cool.
To play, like the controls and everything.
There's also a game called Spray Paint Simulator, which a few people, I think it's a new game, and it's been recommended to me because, as you all know, I love Power Wash Simulator. So people have been like, oh, maybe you'd like a spray paint simulator. I've seen the trailers for it, and I'm like, I don't think it's necessarily the same thing, but if it's on Game Pass, I'll give it a try. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up liking it, but I'm waiting for Power Wash 2.
It's such a weird trend now. We're just getting simulators for everything.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I'm just waiting till they start getting utterly ridiculous. Like we get like plumbing simulator. Like that's.
I think that already exists.
Something about that just doesn't sound right.
We had Goat Simulator. It's already gotten ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Goat Simulator is just a parody in itself.
Yeah, but the big game that they announced for Game Pass, it's coming out this Thursday, is a game I'm glad I didn't buy because it's coming to Game Pass. Metaphor Refantasio, the big Atlas game, the big new IP from the Persona creator. It's coming to fucking Game Pass, which is surprising considering it's not even a year old. I don't think
it came out like beginning of the year.
Yeah, well, it won a bunch of awards last year. It did super well. I've heard a lot of positive things about it, and yeah, as a man who still hasn't finished Expedition 33, I'm gonna download this and throw it in the fucking backlog anyways because
what was it? I confuse it with Avowed for some reason.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's Avowed.
But it's interesting because it kind of equates to another story we have where it's officially the FTC have dropped their case against Microsoft for the Activision Blizzard thing. Like it's dead now. Like they tried to do an appeal. That appeal got shot down recently, so they finally ceased. They've ceased the thing, so it's now official permanently.
I didn't know that it was still going on.
Oh yeah, it was because the FTC were going to appeal it, of course.
Wasn't that all in like the European courts too? Like it was just like overseas.
What do you mean?
Didn't they? I thought that was filed like overseas, like it was like the European FTC or something. No.
Well, the Europeans version of the FTC did file a thing for it, but that got shot down too. Okay. The FTC one, which is in the States, happened later, but that went through a bit of a longer litigation process, probably because Microsoft's an American company. And that's the thing. Microsoft, they've been doing a lot of things recently that are very much to appease the FTC. I think a lot of their porting games to PlayStation, giving Ubisoft some rights for the cloud gaming stuff has been part of the like saying to the FTC, like, no, we're not monopolizing, guys. We swear we're not doing it, right? And now that it's dead completely, seeing something like Metaphor coming to Game Pass, and then I didn't have it in here, but the other thing was Warhammer Space Marine 1 is getting a remaster this year, which is cool. And it got announced exclusively for Xbox and PC, no PlayStation yet. Now, is it coming to PlayStation? It probably will. This is probably just another case of like Microsoft and Sega being buddy and being like, hey, can we have it for a little bit? It's just conspiracy brain people try to go, the timing of it, and some people freaking out about it. And I'm like, guys, it's going to come to PlayStation. It'll just probably be in a few months.
Well, it's also Warhammer is more of a PC thing anyways.
Well, Space Marine is like the action game that helps. Yeah. Space
Okay.
Marine 1 is a third-person shooter, and then Space Marine 2 is also. So both games are
Okay.
fantastic. I played the first one a long time ago, but I'll probably play this remaster. It's coming out on Game Pass as well. So it's just you see like Microsoft getting a little buddy with Sega at this current moment. Again, if you want to conspiracy brain that, but I don't think there's anything there. I think it's just Microsoft and Sega have always liked each other. So
Yeah.
who cares, right?
I know there is that conspiracy that they're like, is Microsoft going to buy Sega? And I'm just like, no, it just doesn't make sense.
I've always felt if they wanted to, they should have in like 2002.
Yeah, when Sega was in the toilet. Right now,
Yeah,
Sega's
when they were
healthy.
when they were not worth much money, and they could have easily scooped them up and made them like their Japanese brand. Like they could have done that, but they didn't do it. So doing it now would be really weird and stupid.
Yeah, Sega's too healthy, and they're already getting like looked at. They're already under the watch for being a monopoly as it is. They really don't need to buy a giant Japanese company right now.
Well, and also it's like they have a really good relationship with Sega anyways, because basically all the Sega stuff comes to Xbox. All the Yakuza games are on Game Pass. And I firmly believe Persona 6 is going to get announced at an Xbox show because it's going to be green. So they're like, oh, we'll do that and make it like it's a multi-plat franchise now. So they don't need to do that. You know what I mean? They don't.
It's been a multi-plat franchise for a while now.
No, but this will like officially like 6 will be the first official one that's like on everything day one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So.
Honestly, I think Metaphor being multi-plat from the start was pretty much the confirmation of
yeah.
that.
Oh, it will. Yeah, it's just some hangers-on are going to be fighting the good fight about Persona 6 for some fucking reason.
I just want a trailer. That's really all I care about.
Oh, lucky Persona 6 is an Xbox exclusive, kind of exclusive.
Could you imagine? That would be insane.
That would be a really risky choice just because of the fact that the majority of the fan base is Japanese.
What's interesting is Metaphor, Xbox had the exclusive advertising, had exclusive marketing deal for Metaphor.
Well, advertising's one thing because the Japanese are going to buy it regardless. They don't care.
Yeah, but it was interesting. If you saw any advertisement for Metaphor, it was all like for the Xbox version, not the PlayStation version.
There was a little logo in the corner that said also on PS4.
Oh, of course. It's everything. Yeah, no big deal. But I think it's just Microsoft being like, oh, we should just continue our good partnership with Sega because they're doing really well right now, and let's just be good pals with them because they're doing great, and we want to be associated with a publisher who's always really kind of liked us. There are still a bunch of Sega games that are exclusive to the original Xbox.
Oh yeah, the way I see it is like advertising like the Atlas stuff on Xbox is like a win-win, honestly, because the Sony fans are gonna buy it regardless. The ones that aren't the psychos on like fucking
the ones who are going to be like, why would Sega partner with Microsoft on this? Are they stupid or whatever?
Like,
and it's like
2% of the fan base. Yes.
Yeah, I know. But when that happens, it's like, guys, nobody tell them that they've always actually been fans of each other. I could pull out my Dreamcast and it has a freaking Windows logo on it. Like, come on, guys.
I mean, the Xbox was considered a Dreamcast too for some people.
Yeah,
it basically was.
I mean, it almost had cross compatibility with the Dreamcast, which would have been kind of gross if you think about it.
That would actually been kind of amazing.
It would, but it also would be weird and feel wrong.
I mean, if you look at the Dreamcast controller and you look at the original Xbox controller, there are some similarities there. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyways, moving on from that. Tony, you're the PlayStation guy here. What's the PlayStation Stars loyalty program?
I didn't use that much, but like, I think basically you would like if you buy like a digital game, it would give you points, and you get so many points, you could buy like rewards. Like there's this whole like trophy shelf thing that's kind of stupid, but you also spend to buy like actual games. That's why I bought that one haunted house game that I played with Danny and Jelly at one time.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, I had like points and I bought it with it. So if you get a couple thousand points, you can go through like there's a list of games every so often. You can go through it and just you spend your points on that, or buy like shit for like microtransaction games, and I think that's it. I haven't really used that much. I bought like one thing of it.
Bill, did you use it at all?
I forgot it was a thing. I mostly buy physical anyways. So.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're killing it because of
because Microsoft's. Sony has announced that they're fully ending the program November of next year. My response when I saw that was, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, not a lot of people used it.
Which seemed to be the prevailing like overall people going like, "What the fuck is that?" So yeah, I mean it's weird they're getting rid of it at all, but I just
I
figured
kind of have it. I kind of have it right here. Here, you can buy like you can use points to buy like wallet funds, like $5 gift cards or whatever.
Yeah.
And you should- there's
Yeah,
also like this.
Xbox has that with their like rewards as well.
There's like a weird display case, but I think only you can look at, and
yeah, it's just to stroke your like your e-dick or whatever.
yeah,
It's like,
I don't think you can. I don't even think people can even see it.
Because Xbox has like the reward point thing where it's like if you look at the app every day or play a game or whatever.
Yeah, it's like that. Like start
Yeah.
and play a God of War game. Get 50 points if you buy stuff. But
Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
you
the
can tell.
Microsoft one isn't that specific, but in fact, they kind of changed the whole thing. I think at the start of this year, so it operated a little differently. But I mean, it's fine. Every once in a while, I redeem it for like a $5-10 gift card, buy a game or two with it. So
of course, Sony didn't really do anything of it, and then now they're killing it. Like how they had like another rewards thing that they killed.
Yeah,
you can tell that none of the Sony fans really care about this thing because they haven't bullied Sony into changing their mind yet.
well, because you have that, and then you had Nintendo basically killing the gold points as well.
Are they?
We've learned we've learned with Sony.
You can no longer get gold points for buying Nintendo games. I think it was as of like March.
Yeah, I used all my last purchase.
I have like maybe a couple pennies worth.
Yeah.
So I need to spend it on something. But
see,
we've learned. Essentially, I mean, I don't really buy digital games that often, so this is kind of fucking useless to me.
Yeah. See, we've learned with Sony that if Sony makes a decision that the fans don't like, we just have to bully them mercilessly until they change their mind. That's why the Vita store is still open to this day.
I mean, the only reason, like, if you're all digital and you buy games like at the full like $70 price, I could see it being like you get a bunch of points and you could maybe buy like, extend your Plus subscription or buy like whatever games, use the points to buy whatever games they have on there. But like if you just buy games every once in a while, like I'll probably buy a digital game like maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the games I want are like multi-platform, and then I can just get it on Steam or some shit.
Yeah. I could very well see they're just killing this, and then they're just gonna like rebrand it or do something different with it.
Try something different.
It will be the first time to kill something that was kind of all right.
Yeah. So,
like the Vita.
All right. Speaking of kind of all right, going back to Xbox, sorry guys. They announced this new retro classic service thing with Antstream.
I started talking about that.
Yeah, it's exclusive to Game Pass, this version, and you go to it and it's a bunch of like Activision and Blizzard exclusive like old stuff. It's mainly right now like Atari 2600 stuff, like they have like Pitfall 2, Hero, Grand Prix. So, it's mostly Atari stuff, but there's Mech Warrior 1 and 2.
Apparently,
PlayStation. There's Willy Beam, The Adventures of Willy Beamish, y'all.
That's a fun adventure.
That is a fun game.
Is that a console exclusive or is it?
I believe it is exclusive to Xbox because it's all Activision Blizzard stuff.
I know, but it won't be on like PC Game Pass.
It might be on PC Game Pass. I would double check that. It doesn't say here,
and I don't see it. I mean, if I want to do such rare games, I can download all of them, and they'll won't make a bite for all.
Exactly. It says it's on Xbox consoles, the Xbox app on PC, or streaming through those means.
Where?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool that it's there, and they said they plan to add more stuff to it. I mean, the Activision Blizzard catalog of those old games is probably pretty deep, so they could definitely add more stuff.
Friend of the show, Nave, he was telling me, I guess Mech Warrior 2, the PlayStation game. I guess it is such a straight port that like it still has like the PlayStation buttons throughout it, which is really
because
funny.
Antstream, they do all their stuff. It's all cloud streaming, all of it.
Is it?
Yeah. Because with this, they also if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can get access to the full catalog they have separately for a year for like $10. So I went ahead and just bought the $10 and been messing around with that. That has like 1,400 games on it, and it's all kinds of shit from like Atari to like newer arcade. I beat Gunbird 1 and 2 on it, because they were just there. And messed around with a bunch of other stuff. And the quality of the cloud streaming, I mean, it does kind of vary depending on the game, but they definitely prioritized like input lag and like playability over like graphic quality. So some of the games they won't look great, but they run perfectly fine. Like Glover's on there. And I messed the PlayStation version of Glover, and I messed around with it. It does. It looks like a 240p YouTube video, but it controlled perfectly fine.
Did it? So, I've heard that the PlayStation version has other issues.
I would say my experience with it wasn't terrible. I think I had maybe one or two. It was one of the Metal Slug games didn't run super well, but other than that, I had very little issue with it. But with cloud streaming, it varies from person to person. So
yes, it does, and we know that firsthand.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, at least with the Xbox One, if you want to play Pitfall through it on the Atari, it runs just fine because it's a fucking 2600 game.
I'd love if they fucked up a 2600 game somehow.
Yeah, so I mean, when I first went into it, it wouldn't load anything, but I closed it for like a couple hours, went back, and it worked just fine. So, but yeah, that's cool that they're doing that. I wonder what games they could pull out to throw on there. I'm hoping Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure, because that's a great game.
That is a good game.
Yeah. So, anyways,
which version? There's like 5 versions.
The Mega Drive version, the Sega Genesis version. It's the version I know. Anyways, so Embracer Group. Y'all remember Embracer Group, right?
Sure.
Okay, so they announced. So according to this, Embracer Group has announced it is spinning off its indie label Coffee Stain and rebranding its Middle Earth and Friends brand. So they're splitting themselves in. So I think they're splitting themselves into 3 separate groups now. So it's Asmodee, Coffee Stain and Friends, and then Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends. They're all going to be listed as separate companies.
Don't those names just roll off the tongue?
The real question is, did they announce this on 8chan?
That I don't know.
Does anyone remember when THQ Nordic, the company that is Embracer Group now, they had done an AMA on 8chan, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh no, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, Middle Earth and Friends. I guess it'll now be known as Fellowship Entertainment, and that'll have like Lord of the Rings, Kingdom Come Deliverance. I didn't know they had Kingdom Come Deliverance. Metro, Dead Island, Darksiders, Tomb Raider, those kind of games is going to be Fellowship Entertainment. And then let's see, Coffee Stain and Friends is going to focus on community-driven free-to-play games, indie AA games, that kind of stuff. Sure. And then I don't even know what the Asmodee one is, because in here they don't even really say what it is. So it's just Embracer Group is just a weird amalgamation mess that just needs to die. So I mean, hey, now that the FTC thing's done, if Microsoft wants to swoop in and get like Tomb Raider and all those, I'd be fine with that. Just buy up Crystal real quick and what's the other? Crystal and Eidos. If they just want to buy those up real quick and just swoop them in, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
They'd be better off than fucking Embracer.
Get the Red Faction series. Do something with it, please.
Yeah.
If they still have it, I have no idea where it is at this point.
I think it's in a basement somewhere.
Probably.
Under some rubble.
What was that, Tony?
Maybe?
I think they remade it. I think they have it on Steam.
Oh, they remade
I know they ported one of them to where it was like remastered or something stupid.
That was Gorilla, which is like the best one.
Yeah. I think I have that. I have that somewhere. I don't know where. Never played it.
Best building damage in a game ever. Like the physics engine, that game is so cool.
It's never been topped, huh?
I'm sure it has been.
I have a bunch of them on my Steam account for some reason.
They're probably dirt cheap. So we'll keep going. So y'all know the Switch 2's coming out soon, right?
Switch 2?
It's weird. We're like within like 10 days of it launching, and it just doesn't really feel like it.
Well, because I think a lot of people are just kind of like not gonna get it at launch.
And then all like the pricing controversy and everything, all that good stuff.
I mean, I think it's also already sold out everywhere. So
Yeah, because well, funnily enough, people have been taking pictures of Switch 2s like at stores, so they're in retailers now.
I just saw something where someone, like, I guess, has one at their house.
Yeah, there's a funny picture on Twitter of some dude with it says Target stores are receiving their Switch 2 stock, and apparently as long as it's locked in a cage, they don't mind leaving it in the middle of the floor. So it's like in this like roller cage with like a heavy padlock on it, which is hilarious. So that's funny. They're out there in the wild. But a rumor that we're gonna get a direct soon. Like they're gonna drop one right around the launch of the Switch 2.
I can see that. I could see doing like one, like maybe if not launch day, like a few days before.
Yeah, to sort of like reiterate that the Switch 2 is out and like, oh, here are the games that are out, or here like we'll see another trailer for like
Maybe.
Donkey Kong and Prime 4 and that stuff.
And maybe clarifying all the shit that's confusing to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
they're
can't
gonna wait till after it launches to clear that up.
But knowing Nintendo, they'll probably just cause more confusion.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for the first person to buy the fucking Switch 2 user guide and then just fucking record it and upload it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that playthrough it'll be like
God,
it'll be like an hour long maybe, and
Oh,
the
and it'll be
comments are gonna be they expected us to pay $10 for this.
And it'll be
It's
strike
so
down
weird.
immediately,
It's
and then someone will also upload it, and it'll be an endless cycle.
Yeah, it was
so
weird.
weird it's not packing game.
Well, apparently, according to Reggie, around the time, like they asked him about like like bundling Wii Sports and with the Wii was like really smart, and he said the only reason that happened was because he pushed for it. Otherwise, they weren't going to do it.
Oh,
In Japan, it wasn't bundled with the Wii. It was
Wow.
it was only in the States, yeah, and that's part of why the Wii sold so fucking well was because Wii Sports was packed in. And Reggie basically was like, I don't want to take credit for it, but it was kind of me who pushed for it. But I mean, it was the right choice.
This thing, like Nintendo, of course they're not, because Nintendo Japan isn't any company in Japan is just like brain dead sometimes like this. But it's just like this is like a new technology, has like new shit that like you should pack it in, just so people know all the features, like how like the Steam Deck has a little game that shows everything, or even
Astro's Playroom.
Astro's Playground, the PS5 that like showed all the features of the DualShock.
While also making it a really good game.
I got who?
Or a free like packing game, anyways.
Yeah, it was like what 2-3 hours long. That's impressive in its own right.
See, I'd like to think Nintendo may get like they might just say, fuck it, let's just make it free. But
or free like for like the launch consoles or something. Like have packing for the launch consoles or something.
I could see maybe after like 2 months, they just say, you know what, if you want it, it's a free download, just go get it.
Watch them like be like, here's the physical edition.
It's a game card. It's a key. The game isn't even on the fucking card.
Yeah. here's a case. For you
a
collecting.
download code. It gives you a download code and a middle finger.
But at least with those, you can. Is it a download code, or is it just a card just acts as a download code?
So, with the whole game key card thing, it basically acts as how a lot of like disc games on like PS5 or Xbox work, where you put the disc in, and it's a glorified download key.
But is it like stuck to that console, or is it able to be like? Oh
no, it's like say like a PS5 game, like you put it in and you still have to like download the whole game for the most part, right?
Okay,
or whatever. But you can put it in another console and it'll still work.
Yeah, some people thought it was only like linked to your console and you can install it. Which
they're not that evil yet.
Don't give them any ideas.
I give it time.
Don't give them any ideas.
It's not a great idea, but at least it's better than just like. At least you can like sell it. So there's still that.
Exactly.
So it's not like. It's just like it's fucking stupid, but it's not like. At least it's not a game. At least it's not a game card in the case.
Yeah, like there's going to be some games that when you buy like the physical version on Switch, the game will be on the cart.
Yeah,
like I know Cyberpunk's that way. I think Mario Kart World is that way.
Yeah, I think
those are like the only two confirmed for it. So
I mean, like at least it's not like how like if you bought like Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 for the Switch, it's just Revelations 1 on a cart and it's just a download code for 2. So it's at least it's
Or when they did the Legacy collections for Mega Man, where it's like they could have
at
fit
least
both on the card
like,
easily.
it fucking sucks. It's stupid, but at least it's not a fucking download card. At least you can like.
There's something there.
At least it's something for the meantime, for the next like 10, 15 years while the servers are still up, you can sell it.
Yeah.
And then you get Sega, who like gives you like a double pack of Sonic Mania and Team Sonic Racing, and they just are both on one card. And it's like, okay, guys.
Sega stay winning. What can I say?
Sega is like the most user-friendly Japanese company. It is really refreshing to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I think they're the company that's like that doesn't really take anything down.
They only take stuff down if they happen to be working on something.
Well, they did recently take down all those retro stuff that was like on Steam and everything. But everyone theorized that's because they're going to do another retro compilation.
I mean like fan games or fan creations.
Oh yeah, they
don't really
they never take that stuff now. They
go after them.
They even embrace it, even when they probably shouldn't.
Hire the fan creators.
Well, I was talking the real bad Sonic hentai that's out there. You know, they're like, yeah, it's fine. That's a whole thing. We're not going to get into that.
See, the only time Sega ever took something down was that Streets of Rage 2 remake, and that's really only because they were making Streets of Rage 4 in the background.
Oh,
yeah. So, anyways, this one's for me. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. It got another trailer recently, and it has a confirmed release date of the 30th of October.
Nice.
And it's coming to Switch too. Was there ever any doubt? So
it's on a key card.
It's on a key card on Switch 2, but it's also on Switch 1, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So
I hope it sells well because I really want 4 and 5 remakes.
I mean, I'm buying it. I'm buying it anyway.
It'll sell out. It'll sell out, especially.
Oh, it will. The 3 remake did really well.
It's also still like the franchise is like wildly popular in Japan, so it's gonna sell well.
Well, it'll sell in Japan regardless. It's just America.
Well, it's been getting more and more popular in the States over the years.
Yeah, I mean, we've been getting all of them more or less, besides that like one online game.
Yeah,
we're supposed to get the offline version, but we still haven't heard anything about that.
I think they're waiting to finish offline, and once it's fully done, then they're going to port it. They're going to wait till all the work is done, so then they only have to sell it one time for us. So, and it'll probably be a healthy game as far as content goes when that comes out, because it has like 6 expansions or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's a big game. So, but I keep waiting for that. Just a couple more things to wrap it up. Let's see. This one I thought was interesting. So in fact, we'll make this the last one. So apparently Star Wars Battlefront 2, you guys remember that game when it came out?
The good Battlefront 2 or the EA Battlefront 2?
The EA one.
Okay.
Yes. Well, apparently the devs said something about, they're like, oh, we want to get the band back together and make Battlefront 3. Like they made a whole stink about it online, and because of that, like the Steam numbers like shot up, because I guess they're trying to like convince EA to make the 3rd Battlefront game. So they made this whole plea to people, and everyone went and played it again. I mean, I've heard people say it's not a bad game, but
no, it's functioning. It just had too much fucking.
It was littered in controversy when it came out. It was such a bad take that even if it was a good game, I feel like it wasn't going to be enough.
It was all the add-on shit, like the pay to win, basically.
Yep. Yeah, and I believe that one EA comment is still the most downvoted Reddit comment in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was about the whole like Darth Vader skin thing or whatever. But I mean, both of them, the new Battlefronts are on Game Pass. I've been meaning to give them a try just to see if they're worth my time at all, but
they're not as good as the originals, but they're fine games.
I love the originals. I have them. I could always play them whenever I want. So, but I started playing Overwatch, so I have an online game now. So what do I need this other shit for? God damn it! I like Overwatch. Anyways, that's all. They got you
hooked.
They kind of did, actually.
I did.
I already have like 6 hours in that game. Anyway.
Oh wow.
Anyway, that's the news, everybody. So let's get to the meat now.
Alone in the Dark 2. If you're wondering why I have a Sega Saturn version, it's because the 3DO version is expensive. Anyway.
Yes, very expensive.
The old version is also the worst version. So
I would say, did you guys mess with the 3DO version? I didn't bother.
I played a bit of it. It's
played it
not much of-
I played it and I got to the end and then the emulator crashed and it lost my save data and I said no.
Sounds like Fordio. Did you use Fordio or the?
I used the Russian one.
Yeah, you were telling me about the Russian one. I forget what it was called.
Phoenix.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called.
Yeah.
I was at like the last like little bit where all I had to do was like explore that room and kill those midgets and fight the pirate and that was it. And it crashed and I was like, I'm not playing this again.
Yeah.
I played it 5 times. It's enough.
You beat this game 5 fucking times, dude.
What can I say? I don't value my time.
I played it. I messed around with the 3DO version just to get a feel for it. It plays pretty much like the game did, the original game did on 3DO. Most of my playthrough is this.
The 3DO version, it can't have like more than 3 characters on screen at the same time. So like in the beginning, you go like there's like 4 guys at that door of the house. There's only 2.
Yeah.
And then like I think at the end where like you're that little girl and you get to sneak around those pirates on the ship, there's only like 2 because it can't handle all the characters.
Yeah, the 3DO struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
So I guess for a little, the dog can't believe it.
I think the dog's a fan.
So for a little bit of backstory, the Alone in the Dark 2 came out in 1993, so still predates Resident Evil. Originally
we're not at that phase where survival horror games are good, so
Yeah.
we're dealing with it.
So originally released on MS-DOS in '93 on floppy format, and then
How many floppies was this game on? You think?
A couple, anyways. It had to have been.
Yeah,
I think. Well, it was not the floppies; it was the discs.
I was gonna say. I'll say the
yeah.
year it could have been a CD based.
Well, it was originally released in Europe on floppies. We got it after it had already switched over to CD.
Floppy? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, imagine how many floppy disks this game was on.
Probably
I mean, the original one didn't have like CD audio; it was all MIDI audio.
That sounds about right.
Okay, that probably helped.
And there's no voice acting. The voice acting was added for the CD-ROM version.
Interestingly enough, it also saw releases on the PC 98 and FM Towns in Japan. It did not get its
the FM Towns.
It didn't get its 3DO port until '95, so that's actually getting pretty close to Resident Evil's release.
Yeah,
and then
the first one or this one?
This game.
This one, I think one came out before.
Look up those fucking PC 98 versions. God damn it!
So the original game came out, just for context, on 3DO. It doesn't give it exact dates. It just says 92. So
wasn't that around the launch of the 3DO?
Oh no. So it must have come out pretty early. Actually, no, that.
No, 92 was the original like PC release of Alone.
Yes. Yeah. Wikipedia isn't helpful. Moby Games, you're my friend.
Good old Moby Games. Could always count on them.
But it also saw, going back to Alone in the Dark 2, it also saw releases on Sega Saturn and PlayStation.
Yeah, naturally.
Okay.
The Saturn version's weird because it doesn't have the CD soundtrack.
It didn't, which annoyed me.
It has the MIDI version, I guess, or AdLib, whatever the fuck it is.
Which doesn't make any sense because the Saturn had its own dedicated sound processor. But
well, they probably couldn't figure it out because the Saturn was notoriously a tough console to make games for.
But the PS2 version has the I guess Redbook audio they call it. I don't know what they call it.
Redbook's what they call it. Yeah.
But the PlayStation version has like weird loading times. Mm-hmm. Like even in the intro, like the guy like walking to the house. He'll walk like off the first screen and it would say, "Please wait," and then he walks to the next screen. "Please wait." He's about to get murdered by the clown, and it's like, "Please wait." The Saturn version doesn't have that.
Yeah. So just a little context. The original Alone in the Dark came out on 3DO in 94.
Yeah,
So
we reviewed this though.
Yeah. I
I
just
played it after
forgot
I
exactly.
played two because I hadn't played the first one in so long.
I mean, the first one is definitely the more well remembered of the original trilogy, and I get why it was the first one, and it was a very groundbreaking game.
It's
But when we played it, I was like, this is kind of shit.
You can tell it's a game from 92.
yeah,
Yeah.
it very much has like adventure game logic.
You can tell it was literally the first of its kind.
Exactly.
And then there's the whole thing at the end with the platforming.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Which comes back in part 3 and it's no better.
Is it weird though with 2 that I feel like 2 is a better game, but it's still aged. It like hasn't aged well.
2, the first one I feel is the better concept.
Oh, story-wise, yes. I think in terms of actual gameplay, though, 2 has a lot more going on for it.
The first
one has all that HP Lovecraft stuff, which is really cool. This game completely gets rid of that in favor of like green guys who are pirates.
The first one's like
Santa,
like you said, it's of its time, and even at the time, it didn't feel good to play, but it was so like groundbreaking because like that ran on like those polygons are made with no graphics accelerators. It was made with like whatever the fuck the graphics at the time, the onboard graphics at the time. There's no like processing, so that's what made it so impressive. And then and then of course it just helped create a genre.
Yeah, it was a pretty big hit when it came out.
That and of course Sweet Home. I guess technically the original survivor horror.
Yeah, but that was Japan only, wasn't it?
I know, but that's what because Resident Evil was supposed to be, I think originally supposed to be a remake of Sweet Home.
Yeah. Because I think
it was all inspired by.
Mikami work on Sweet Home?
I think so.
He did.
I think he did. Yeah.
But Alone Dark is what got him to want to, I guess, remake it. But then he decided to make Resident Evil. So like, they both have that part in the history.
Well, because Sweet Home is a movie, I think. Like that's a movie game.
Sweet Home is a rather mediocre horror movie. The games.
Yeah.
I don't know what came first. Like, I don't know if it was like supposed to be based on the movie or it was supposed to be like a tie-in.
If I remember correctly, it was a tie-in for the movie. Yeah. And they were going to do the Sweet Home remake, but then they couldn't get the rights to Sweet Home. So then they just made their own story, which became Resident Evil.
But like the game's like kind of completely different than the story in the movie. It's the same, but it's different.
Let's be real here, Tony.
I watched the movie and it's like 1 minute it's like all goofy and happy, and the next minute like people getting like chopped in half, and then it's like then it becomes like a family friendly movie again, and it's like really all over the place.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Tony. A lot of movie tie-in games in the NES era were not very faithful to the movies.
I know, but it's weird because I can't really like how did that collaboration happen?
What do you mean? You don't remember the part in Star Wars where Darth Vader turned into a scorpion?
That was the Japanese only version too.
Yeah, I know. And I love
I'm
that
just saying,
game.
I don't know, like I can't really. There's no really like how did that come to be like a licensed game? Like there's no real information from what I can see.
Maybe it was just that like the tie-in movies were becoming a thing at that point, and maybe Sweet Home were like, oh, let's ask Capcom to do it. They've been making some good work.
Yeah,
they make games about blue people. Maybe they'll make a game about this.
I don't know. I don't. Was it like the story developed at the same time, and then they just said fuck it? I don't know. It's just like
it's possible.
What came first, the chicken or the egg kind of scenario?
Yeah, but I feel like Sweet Home is only remembered for being like the basis for Resident Evil. Yeah, like nobody really remembers anything else about it beyond that. And Alone in the Dark is kind of in that same camp where it's remembered for being like the game that kind of set the groundwork.
It was the first one that really established the whole 3D models in a pre-rendered space kind of thing.
Yeah, the dynamic camera angles, the tank controls, the inventory puzzles, all of that is here. But Resident Evil definitely gave us better combat, better puzzles, better storytelling, better graphics, better everything.
Except the save system.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
gonna put that out there.
The best thing about this game is the save system, because you can just scum the hell out of the save. Like you're like, did some major save.
You're forgetting one thing about Return Alone in the Dark. Well, all three of them. You can actually like use your fists and fight.
So
That is true. You can use a frying.
And in the first one, you can just throw everything in. Just fucking throw everything in.
So I will say, the one thing Alone in the Dark 2 fixes a lot of problems from the first Alone in the Dark. The one thing it did not fix was the combat system, because you still have that weird like combat mode shit where you have to switch over to combat mode to fight.
Yeah, you have to hold the combat mode and then you push right on the D-pad to hit with your right hand or left to hit with your left hand.
Yeah.
And it never feels good.
You can also just fucking headbutt everybody.
Yeah. Or if you're using a gun, you have to like tap up in like a weird way to shoot the gun.
It's changed. It kind of changed in the console versions. It's a little better because you just have to press the one button to aim, and then you press forward to shoot, but it's more intuitive.
Okay. Yeah. Because I played the PC release of this that was on GOG, but Tony was very nice to get it on Steam for me so I could play with a controller. Because
I helped him how to set it up.
Yeah, because playing the original version with the classic keyboard style bindings that they give you is just not worth it. Using the arrow keys and space and like the enter key, like no thank you. And you can't remap it at all in game.
Yeah, this is before WASD became standard.
Yeah. So it would be fine if I could remap shit, but it doesn't let you. So
you probably can somehow. I think there's like I think maybe the setup thing GOG has, you can probably change it, but or you could just add it to Steam like I told.
GOG's not as controller friendly as Steam is, because GOG's more about with the old PC games like preserving them as they were, which I think is a good thing. So they tend not to fuck with that stuff.
But you sometimes they have their own custom start setup app. I think maybe you can in there.
Okay, if that's the case, I have not messed with it.
Like I said, you could just do what I taught you, and just add it to Steam and use Steam Configure, and you're like, this is less slow.
Well, now that I figured out Steam input, it's just so much easier to do it on there. So,
plot wise, just kind of bringing up the plot a little bit.
Please do.
This game. So, fun fact: this is a Christmas game.
It is.
This game takes place supposedly 3 months after the events of the original On the Dark, but it follows completely different cast of characters.
Besides the main character.
Yeah. So we play as supernatural private eye Edward Carnby and his partner Ted Stryker.
Ted Stryker.
That's what the guy's name that gets killed?
Yeah.
The guy who lays the fucking bomb at the start. Which is awesome.
No, that was Carnby pissed the bomb down in the beginning.
I thought that was Ted. I thought it was a different guy.
He's the one that like sneaks into the window and gets strangled by a clown.
Oh, right. Yeah, gotcha.
So they're investigating the kidnapping of young Grace Saunders, and their trail leads them to an old mansion named Hell's Kitchen. We're fighting Gordon Ramsay, guys.
That's the short little guy that wanders around the first floor. Yeah,
the home of an infamous gangster boss and his gang. Edward decides to pick up on the trail when he learns of Ted's disappearance in the mansion. But Edward soon finds out that Ted has been murdered. Carnby eventually finds that the mobsters are the corporal forms of spirits of pirates that plundered the sea hundreds of years ago. Keep up, everybody. And the plot, and years ago, and the lot having sold their souls in exchange for eternal life through voodoo magic, fighting his way into the house, and ultimately
correct, but okay.
Fighting this way into the house and ultimately into a pirate ship hidden in the cliff on which Jack's house is built, Edward must survive, discover the secrets of pirates' apparent immortality, rescue little Grace, and find out why the pirates are so interested in her.
Yeah, it's weird because this game, it does like some almost kind of modern shit where a lot of the exposition is in lore that you find like in books and shit throughout the game.
That is something that the original
that's
did
surprisingly, which is very ahead of its time, I think.
The lore in Alone in the Dark 1 is the most interesting part of that game in a lot of ways.
In this game, I couldn't give two shits about the lore.
No, because so in terms of like staff members who came over from the first game, it is literally only the producer and maybe a few others like designers and stuff. But the original director did not return.
Well, I think he gave his blessing for it though.
He did.
But there's also like the forced exposition scenes
Yeah.
where like
where One Eye
character
Jack
just stands
told,
like the witch lady just stands there and tells them everything.
they do the Bond villain thing where they tell you everything like right there. Like One Eye Jack does his whole spiel, and then they have like the separate like cutscenes for like, oh, I was on the ship and we did this shit and all that other stuff. Like one thing I will say about this game is that like the 2D art compared to the first game is a major improvement.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
going back to the first one, it is very plain, like solid colors, like in Paint, you use the fill-in tool, right? Here there's definitely a lot more detail happening within the like the 2D backgrounds. Like you'll see like little rats run around and stuff go like under like carpets. And yeah, there's just a lot more interesting details that you pick up in the backgrounds.
There's a
throughout
lot of
That was
the
nice.
cool like a cinematic shots because like you have that tilted
Yeah.
and like, the guy's getting strangled and you see like the water, like the cup that knocked on the ground, you see the water on the floor. It's like very cinematic, which wasn't
Yeah.
very common
Like
at the time.
one thing I really like is early in the game, one of the death screens, if you get killed, is you get thrown off this cliff thing, and they actually show you get dragged and thrown off the cliff, and you get this great cutscene of you falling off the cliff into the
Well,
ocean.
I think that happens every time you like die.
After a certain point, I think later on you just get like you're strangled upside down on the pirate ship.
Yeah, that's when you're playing as Grace and you get caught, I think.
But
It happens later too if you die as Carnby.
Carnby.
Yeah.
I will say though, one thing that we discovered when we were playing this game on stream is you can walk off the cliff where they throw you out and still get the cutscene,
which is great.
Yeah, there's
I
one
love
part where like
You
there's
get
one
the
part.
cutscene like in that first area when you're in the cave. There's that like hanging barrel, and you have to like time it to where you smack the guy off, but you can get smacked by it and fling off and get that same cutscene.
or you can walk right
or
off.
you can just walk off.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Bill's like I had done it before, and Bill's like, do it.
I want to see what happens.
Okay. You can also skip an entire like maze part if you just run all the way down and run to the left corner and just like teleport. That's how I play now.
Part of me wonders if that was like a developer little hidden thing for like testing, or if it's actually supposed to be there.
I think it was meant to be there for like the developers.
It's in every version though.
Yeah, it's in every version, and later in the game, you step on like the same thing and teleport to say like the third level, and
yeah, like you teleport around the house. But
yeah,
that's like I thought that shit just maybe it's just like a left in for the developer. Because imagine playing that when it first came out, and you just like didn't know to go in the maze because the fucking
you just suddenly ascend, and then you're in the basement.
They make use of that Carnby floating in the air animation quite a bit.
I fucking I'm like at this point I'm a fucking professional speedrunner at this game. I know all the little tricks now. Like the little thing with the pitchfork.
Yeah,
you can just run in the kitchen and have it kill the chef.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
That's what I did. Like I triggered it and then I like hid right behind him and it just took care of him for me.
Because the little helper, the only thing he does is he screams if he sees you not wearing a Santa costume. He doesn't do anything else.
If you attack him, it'll do a little cut where he'll go like help.
Yeah, he does that. He does that too. If you don't, he does that too. If you don't, whatchamacallit, you don't
wear the Santa
class. Yeah.
Oh, I never took it off the moment I got it, but it opens. It'll open the door, and there'll be those like 4 guys there that like are a pain in the ass. I did beat them kind of early because I found if you go into the room around it and then open the door and just like kind of back up into the corner, they'll just try to go single file through the door, and with the frying pan,
I
you
did
just
that
put them all one by one.
Because in the Saturn version, especially, it's already. I don't know. Does the US version have like a difficulty mode, or is it just like hella easy? Bill.
It was fairly easy. If there was a difficulty mode, I didn't select it
because the PlayStation version you can choose like 3 difficulties, and I played the Japanese Saturn version because I'm an idiot because I couldn't find like the ISO for the fucking US version for some reason.
I think there was a difficulty select. Yeah.
because like the enemies like in the Japanese version died in like 1 to 2 shots of the gun
Mm.
instead of like 4.
I
And then
will.
like the PS3 version, the PS1 version, I'm sorry, on normal difficulty, it's like 3 shots and they're dead, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It controls a lot better in both versions.
Yeah. I will say one thing I found with this game too is there's a lot less. There's still some bullshit, but there was a lot less like bullshit moments like in the first game where
Yeah, it's not as bad, but I think that's also attributed to the camera angles that they choose are for the most part better.
yeah. I'm
There's
thinking
still
like
some funky ones, like when you go into the bedroom and there's like 2 hands with the thing. Like
Oh,
they're in that corner. I didn't know they're in that. I walked around that room for like 5 minutes because I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? And then I just walked the right way, and one of them started swinging at me. I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be.
you don't have to fight them.
Well,
You can
to
just
get
ignore
that,
them.
well, you have to get that piece of the parchment though.
No, you don't.
Well, then, goddamn it. Well, they weren't
See,
difficult.
I guess if you're playing the game and you know what you're doing, I guess it gives a hint, but you can just fucking just not even kill them.
I mean, I had a walkthrough open, and they said,
I beat the game like 7 times. I know what I'm talking
okay.
about.
so when I was saying like cryptic stuff, I was thinking like in the first game where like the literal first room of the game is timed, and as you're trying to figure out
that's
how
such
to play the
bullshit.
game, it's like, oh, a zombie's here and I'm dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
hate that's so bullshit.
that was actually the first room was actually the demo they released for the DOS version. So I guess it's because you can't go downstairs in the demo. You're just checking that room instead of just like doing something smart like the entire first floor. But just like you just it lets you like push the thing against the window and then push the crate on top of the trapdoor, and that's it.
Yeah. If you don't know that though, when you play the first time, you're like, what do I do? What do I do? Zombie, run.
Try to fight them and like start moshing.
Yeah. There's also later in the first game that point where you have to put that blanket over the paint or over the mirror, like
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
it's like bullshit fucking
It's
adventure game stuff.
it's not Clock Tower Ghost Head. That is still the most bullshit like cryptic puzzle ever. With the if you don't examine that nice suit of armor at the start of the game, it'll fall on you later and end your game.
Yeah, and like in the first game, like all the hints are in the books, but just like so much. At least in part 2, it's a lot more intuitive. Like you can like get where they're coming from, like get what you got to do most of the time without a guide. Even though I used the guide the entire time, because I ain't got time for that.
Yeah. I will say, music wise, I really like the soundtrack to this game.
I love the fucking first song that plays.
It's good until you play as Grace, the little girl, and then the song that's like the main theme when you play as her. I hate that song.
Yeah, I mean they're not all winners, but there was a lot of tracks in this game that I was like,
And it kind of like what's that word? It's kind of like I want to say adaptive, kind of. Like the songs kind of
it changes a little bit as you go. Yeah,
the songs kind of blend into each other, which is really cool. I like I mean, I think the soundtrack is the best part of the game. The first one, like the first little jingle, I think is stuck in my head.
There was a lot of points where I was like kind of bopping my head to it. I was like, "This is good." Like,
This is better than it probably should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the 3D models compared to the first game, I don't think they're that much of a major step up.
No, they're a little
the same quality, but they all have creepy eyes. Especially
No,
the little girl, her eyes, terrifying.
The Saturn version models are completely different than the DOS version and the video version.
They do.
Have you seen the updated versions, Spec? Because I don't think I ever showed you.
I have not.
They like have slight texturing, but they still look fugly as shit.
They look better. No, they look better on PS1.
Oh yeah, well they try to give them like shaders a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Carnby's like some fat guy now.
Yeah, it looks weird. Yeah, I'm seeing some screenshots.
The weird thing is in the PS1 version, if you watch the intro, instead of showing like the pirate images, it'll show like Carnby walking, but it's like his original model.
Yeah.
Then you start the game and it's him like this fat guy. Like who the fuck is he?
The events of the opening really hit him like a truck. That's all I can say.
You don't say. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's weird.
it's
But I
weird
think
because it's like, oh, go on.
no, go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. It's okay.
I think I think the worst part of the game, besides fucking Grace and her fucking bullshit, the fucking whole thing when you had to like sneak around those guys. Cause
Yeah.
I had the PS1 version back in the day, and that part fucked me up because I think I accidentally saved, and then the guys don't fucking they don't reset if you leave the screen, and I did it again in the DOS version
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I didn't have multiple saves, and then I just like I fucked up again. I was like, God damn it! I was like, no wonder I hate this game.
The
because
one
it's the part where you climb to the top of the ship and you have to like
Yeah.
sneak around them, and conveniently the thing that you need to pick up is like right in the middle of them. So it's like, how do you sneak up on that? But like, if you go, my first thought was, oh, let me go behind them, like where I'm on their backs, like back. You're not
Yeah, and they
supposed to
see
do that
you.
'cause they immediately see you. But if you go the other way, like towards them, somehow they don't see you.
You go behind
That's
the
what you
first
do.
barrel, but like
Yeah, you have to go behind the
she
first barrel.
runs so fucking slow. It's like she's
She does that
and
like little kid jaunty like
and she's
skip
supposed to be
thing.
like I think she's supposed to be like 8, and she
Yeah.
runs like and she looks like a fucking. I thought she was like 4.
Yeah, but she's like doing this like jaunty little like skip thing. And it's just like, I would not be doing that in this situation.
And if you fall down like the hole back down, she brings like an umbrella and it glides down.
Yeah, which is hilarious
That's cool.
because when Carnby falls, he falls like a fucking rock. It's
And he
Yeah.
hilarious.
he goes. "Ugh." But I
Uh,
think that's like the worst part of the game. But I think
yeah,
the biggest issue is the very beginning where you either have to somehow kill this guy or get gunned down,
yeah.
but then you kill him finally, and you take 2 steps, and then you get gunned down.
It's one of those things where it's just like it's inherently an issue with survival horror games in general. Later ones just make it less bullshit. Is like early on when you're like just starting and you have like none of your equipment, it is so easy to get killed.
But it's like not even this. It's like you barely kill this guy, and then you have 2 guys. You have to try to push that fucking thing, but then 2 guys come and just gun you down. It's just like it's
Yeah.
so. If there's like a better introduction, I think this would be not as infamous. But I think that beginning part alone, I think a lot of people just like fucking gave up because you're gonna die like 5 or 6 times before they can figure out what the fuck to do. Then you go
Yeah.
to a fucking maze and you get fucking bombarded by like 3 guys instantly. He's like, "Hey, you," and he just fucking like 2 guys come around the corner and gun you down.
It is
Yeah,
very
That's like,
easy to get overwhelmed in this game.
I mean,
and
just like the
it's
first
not
game.
as it's not as bad. And when you get in the house, I think that's when you get in the little underground tunnel and get to the house. I think that's like the best part of the game. I think gameplay wise, it's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, it's like every enemy encounter and every little puzzle is like decently sectioned off.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you do that thing, now go do this thing. Like it's much more linear than the first game was. The first game is like, I wouldn't say it's non-linear, but you can kind of explore around a little bit.
It's very
not,
open.
It's
yeah,
not,
but this one is much more like, okay, go here, do this thing. Like it's more like trying to guide you to where you're trying to go next.
in the first game, the only part you have to like do straight is the stairs. You have to put the mirrors and kill the monsters. But after that, you can pretty much do anything. There's no real set order.
It's not so much that it's open ended; it's more that it doesn't hold your hand. You have to figure it out on your own.
And
Yeah, but as Tony said, it allows you to kind of do them in whatever order you want, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, it doesn't tell you this good, I guess, not very well. It doesn't let you move to the next area unless you have everything you need in order to beat the game. Like if you try to get the little omelet with Conry, he can't pick it up if you don't get something. And it's probably that little fucking coin that you probably can't see on the floor. In one room with the fucking
it's like the
a
pinball
piano
machine.
That's the pinball machine. There's the one where you poison the guys and they walk out and you put those 2 tokens in the machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's like a My guy called it a jukebox. I'm like, I don't know if a
What the fuck it
jukebox is
is? Like,
appropriate, but
I
yeah.
was running around like crazy, and then I read a guide, and it was like I read something, and it was like I think it was like an old ass forum post. It was like, oh, don't there's a coin on the floor, don't forget it.
Yeah.
Because if you it won't let you continue. Same with Grace. If you try to do her part, if you don't like get this like one thing, if you don't I can't remember what it was. Or if you don't like go into a room and like get the thing that's like on the chair, it won't let
Oh,
you.
is it like the pepper shaker?
Mm.
Probably that.
It-
I and it's like you have to use the stick to like get something, and it's like on the where you see like a ghost or something, and it's like you have to use a stick on the chair, and you get some shit, but it won't let you like leave that area until you do that. So that's what I can say. Because Alone in the Dark, the first one, if you like this like that sword you have to use to kill that pirate, and if that breaks, you can't beat the game.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it isn't
Um,
like it's better at like not making it like impossible to be unless you save stupidly. I think 90% of the time it won't let you like hard lock yourself out from proceeding.
Yeah, the game I think has a lot better pacing than the original.
yeah.
Probably just because more it's like it wants to be more of a straight line, like do this thing, get these things, do that. So I think the game has a lot better of a flow to it, and there's not like a lot of downtime as well. Like
Mhm.
you go into the next room and then another thing happens, you know. So it keeps you invested basically the whole way through.
So reception wise, I was looking over this game a little bit. It's actually kind of interesting. This game's reception wise is all over the place.
The PC people loved it, the console people didn't.
Somewhat. So the game when it came out was pretty well received because a lot of people saw it as a decent sequel that offered a lot of good changes, which fair, I will say.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it improves on the first one.
like all game gave the PC and Mac versions 4.5, 3.5, 4.5 stars. Um, Next generation didn't rate the PC version. But as for the console versions, the only 3DO review I see is Next Generation gave it 4 stars. Maximum gave it 2 stars, but they didn't like the game at all.
Well, their whole thought was like, why the hell would you port this to the 3DO now?
Yeah,
Because it was like I mean, it was like a little over a year after the DOS version, so it seems to kind of line up. But
yeah, it was a year after the Alone in the Dark 1 port as well.
yeah, yeah, maybe their just thought was like 3DO was like kind of dying, so it's like who gives a shit.
Yeah. EGM only rated the Saturn version and they gave it 4.25 out of 10 stars.
Out of 10?
Yeah. I mean, not stars, just 4.2 out of 10.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, EGM they always did like the quarters, like 4, 2, 5, or 3 and 3/4 stars or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's very the PS1 and Saturn versions tend to get the worst reviews. The PC reviews are generally pretty good. The 3DO reviews are like half and half. Sega Saturn magazine only gave it a 54, so there's
Yeah.
that.
I think
I mean,
I think it's probably because the first one at that point was known as like I'm not gonna say super scary, but it's like a horror game. But
Hmm.
then they get the sequel, and the consoles finally get the sequel, or the major consoles that aren't dying get the sequel, and it's just like a fucking weird action game that kind of sucks the combat
yeah.
because it's like super hard in the beginning.
I mean, it was that era where PC gaming and console gaming were very different. It was a different
Yes.
audience, different people, different games. It's not like how it is now. So whenever you would port one to the other, there would always be that disconnect of like imagine like somebody playing the PS1 getting this game and going, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" Like
Yeah.
this is kind of stupid. But
Especially
like if you were a
because
PC player, you're probably like, "This is like amazing, revolutionary crap," you know?
when this game came out on PS1, it was 96 and Resident Evil was already out.
Yeah, like Resident
Yeah.
Evil, and I want to say like Resident Evil 2 was like right around the corner, or was it out by then?
Not 96, but it was on the way. They were
Yeah, or like maybe like the director's cut was out by then, and it had like
director's
the
cut
demo
probably.
for probably had a demo for part two. So like by that point, like why would you port this game? Because like if Resident Evil came out, it was already like 10 steps ahead of this game of all
Yeah.
three of them,
For,
really.
well,
I
for context, Resident Evil in North America released on the PlayStation April 1st, 1996. Alone in the Dark 2 was August 22nd, 1996. So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah,
Oh.
it makes so it was kind of
Okay, yeah.
quick.
It kind of makes
But
sense, but
But I could imagine people thinking that they're just trying to capitalize on the Resident Evil fame by just doing like a quick conversion
Yeah.
to console. Even though it's weird because it was the series that inspired Resident Evil, but
and it's
See-
kind of the best version of the game, I think.
See,
Mhm.
I can understand the 3DO port because the 3DO got a port of the first game, like one of the only console port of the first game,
Yeah.
and a year later porting the second game. That makes sense. Um, Interestingly, a fun little fact: in 1994, PC Gamer UK named Alone in the Dark 2 the seventh best computer game of all time, calling it an incredibly involved film-like experience.
What year? Oh, 94?
94. So
I
2
mean,
years
Oh,
after.
I guess. I mean,
yeah, I could
I don't
see
know what
that.
other I mean, I know there are other like major PC games at that time, but I'm not sure what you would put on that list.
Hmm.
I'd like to see the whole list.
You have to probably look for it because it's not cited.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh.
Internet Archive, baby. Come on.
Oh wait. I think I might have found it. Oh, this doesn't help me.
Let's see.
Um,
No, that's from 2001.
I love how a lot of these reviews like don't even acknowledge the fact that this game is like predates Resident Evil quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
like it's just a poor rate rip off, like trying to capitalize off Resident Evil's fame, and it's like maybe the port, but like the game predates Resident Evil by quite a bit.
But again, it's that disconnect between those two audiences,
Yeah,
really. That like
that's fair.
I think for some people today, it might be hard to perceive that, like that difference between PC and console gaming. I mean, even when I was growing up in the 2000s, by that point, the walls were starting to come down, but there still was a bit of a disconnect.
Even in
You know?
the early tens or early aughts, I guess the kids call it these days, it was just still that kind of like it was becoming more common, but it was still like definitely a disconnect.
It was really like the back half of the 2010s, I think,
Yeah,
where
definitely. Like the
they
mid,
fully merged together.
it was like I think the mid like 2013, 2014 when it's starting to get like good PC ports.
Yeah, like that's when Steam like really
And
blew up,
and
and I think that's
Steam
and
started
that's
to have like a better refund policy and everything, and things actually started like when the one Batman game came out, that was like really fucked up on PC. They kind of
Arkham
like
Knight.
Arkham Knight kind of like changed things in a way because the game actually got like fully refunded to players, which
yeah.
was a very rare thing to happen.
And I think that's when like PC culture started becoming a thing, where like building your PC kind of became like an in vogue thing to do. I know, like when the pandemic hit, that's really when like it became
It
like,
kind of
oh, everyone's
always
building their PC nowadays.
it was more kind of niche, but it was still kind of a thing. But
Oh
it
yeah, it's always
has
been a thing.
But like, yeah, it started when it got a little more popular because it got a lot more easier to do. Because
Yeah,
like in the '90s, you like older computers are super complex comparatively.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everything was
Now
pre-built
it's
in the 90s, unless you were a freak.
even building it was just a rat's nest of wires.
Hmm.
Now it's a little more streamlined to where if you watch like a YouTube video and you're really careful, you can do it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier these days, and it's gotten more affordable. But I know like right now, like graphics cards the prices for them are kind of crazy right now. So
Yeah. As someone who's currently looking at computers, it's not the cheapest thing in the world.
yeah, that's why if I ever get one, I'm just gonna go pre-built.
Yeah, that was my plan. I was at I will say I was at Best Buy though, and I was kind of like looking around. I'm like, do they have one that's not lit up like the fucking Vegas Strip?
Yeah,
That's the fucking
I mean, you can take that
disgusting
stuff
thing about
out.
pre-built.
Yeah, I know you can turn it off, but it's like
Yeah.
I just look at them all. I'm like, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
and even if I buy a pre-build, I could like mod it and add shit
Yeah.
to it and take shit out if I
I
wanted
mean,
to.
if you go on like there's like pre-built sites that they'll pre-build it for you and it lets you
Yeah.
customize it.
Yeah,
So you can like, hey, don't put fucking.
I don't need that RGB lighting.
I don't need neon lights lighting up my house.
Yeah, I don't need that liquid cooling thing because I'm not putting a 5090 in that thing.
Yeah. So I guess now for okay, must play stay away. Or must play okay, stay away.
This is a tough one.
This one, so I'm going to say for me, I'm going to say this in context of the 3DO version in particular as a 3DO game. I'm going to say okay. As a if you're so looking at the 3DO's survival horror like library, we got D, we got Alone in the Dark, we got this. If you're a 3DO diehard,
Are there any other horror games on 3DO? Well,
there's like the Seventh Guest and shit like that, right?
there's some other ones.
Seventh Guest, I don't think it's on 3DO.
It's not.
Maybe not. I'll have to double check on that.
We'll double check. I actually do not like the Seventh Guest, but we'll save that if we review it.
The only other one, it's a bit of a. Oh, I mean, there's Escape from Monster Manor. That's a good horror game, but that's a FPS.
That's more of like a borderline comedy horror.
Oh wow!
Game. Yeah,
it wasn't on the 3DO. That's strange.
I mean, you could argue games like Doom have horror elements.
Killing Time's very horror based.
But like straight up horror games. Yeah, there's not that much.
No, and well,
this is the best of the bunch.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll say Alone in the Dark 1 does get a pass just for its historic value. This as a game, I think, is worth playing. I won't say it's a must play, but if you're itching for a horror game, I'm going to give this one a solid okay.
I wouldn't call it a horror game.
Well, for the time. I
mean, it presents itself as a horror game, but it really just doesn't.
Once you get the Santa costume, it takes any frighteningness out of this game.
Yeah,
It's very much. It's like I guess an action game with puzzles, kind of like
it's like the post Resident Evil Code Veronica. Like
it's like
it's like Resident Evil 4, where it's horror.
It's kind of like a post third-person action game, or I wish it was.
Yeah, it's like it's Resident Evil 4 basically. It focuses more on the action and the puzzles than like the scary bits.
Gameplay-wise, though, it's still definitely a survival horror game.
Oh yeah, you barely get any bullets for anything, but once you get the frying pan, you can just clobber anything with that thing. And
but once you get the sword, you don't need anything else.
Oh yeah, at the end of the game, when you have the sword, you're just crushing shit.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
Regardless,
that scene where you set up the cannon and blow up the dude sleeping. Yeah, that's the best part of the game.
Regardless, though, I'll stay. I'm gonna go okay. My final.
This is the thing. Like, if you want to play one of the like original Alone in the Dark games, I mean, I haven't played 3, but I feel like this is probably the one to do.
Yeah,
because it's much better than Alone in the Dark 2. I think it has similar qualities to Resident Evil 2, where the first game is the more historically important because it was the first one, but the sequel is by far and away the better game of the two.
Yes.
So it gets that. Like it's not. I don't want to say stay away because I still don't think it's a very good video game. But if you're curious to Alone in the Dark, this is the one to play because at the very least you can save scum it, and it's not so cryptic that it's like impossible. You know.
Yeah.
And it has some interesting things that happen within the game. So, and if you like cheesy 90s voice acting, it's got plenty of it. All right, Tony, what about you?
I don't want to, like, at first I was like, this game fucking sucks. But then I played it a bunch of times and I played it to the point where, like, because I bring my Steam Deck with me to work and I'll just play it just to kill time. Because it takes like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to beat. And it's kind of like
2 hours.
It's kind of like oddly cozy, I guess.
Wait a minute, Tony, I figured it out. This is your Sonic 06.
It's my Sonic 06.
Okay, this game ain't like, that bad. It ain't that bad.
Yeah, it's not like completely broken.
I'm just saying because like
it's not broken.
You always say I have Stockholm syndrome for 06.
I think maybe it's Stockholm.
I mean, this is kind of Stockholm syndrome. Yeah,
this is Tony's 06.
It's kind of grown on me. I still think, in concept, the first game is better.
Yeah,
because it has better. The first one's better atmosphere and.
There's a reason they remake the first one and not the second one.
The jump scare frog, of course.
That's scary.
And then it's just like it was innovative, had cool shit. It still has cool shit. I think like the monsters like jumping through the windows and shit. Like in the first game, and one of the rooms you walk in, you'll see the POV of like the dog creature jumping through the window, which was really
Yeah,
cool.
when it cuts through and it's like jumping through the window, like it's outside the
So I
house.
think,
Yeah, that's a great shot.
and it's also like more historically important, like we
Oh,
said.
for sure. Yeah.
I played through it before this, and it's aged terribly gameplay wise, but I still think it's worth playing just to check it out. This one, I don't think the beginning of the game is the worst part because it just throws you in so fucking hard for no reason. It doesn't
Yeah.
ease you into it at all. You're gonna die like 3-4 times before you pass the first fucking screen. The 3D version is the worst version because it's based on the DOS version, but it's also like limited graphically and everything. Um, I mean, I'll give it an okay. Like, play it, I guess, maybe if you're interested. I mean,
I'll agree. I'll agree. Once you get into the house, you can just kind of it. I don't want to say it's cozy, but you can kind of like just go through it at like a decent pace, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, like
I will.
I think
I'll
because like stylistically, it's cool. Like I like this. It has a cool camera angles and everything. Like the first
Yeah,
game,
the pirate ship
I
stuff is cool. I always like that
Pie
stuff.
stuff is cool. The story's kind of interesting when kind of I would kind of wish there was more to it besides like random cutscenes, but or random exposition dumps because oh no, we don't have it's 1992 and we don't have the capabilities, so here's some flashcards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
here's
then
text
like
on a screen.
yeah, hashtag, but like it's interesting. It's more interesting than the third game, which is the third game I played through too, and that game was just fucking boring. Um, I'll give it an okay. I still think if you're gonna play it, either if you want to either maybe the PS1 or Saturn version because I think they're the better versions, even though they have their own limitations. But like I don't know, man. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So we're pretty much all okay around the board on this one.
See, it's a shame that reboot of the first one flopped because then they could have done a reboot of this game. And I would be curious to a modern interpretation of what this game is trying to do.
It would just be like fucking Uncharted. I think.
It'd probably be kind of all right though, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be that bad.
I need to fucking buy the fucking remake. It's
been sitting on my wish list forever. It's just I don't think it's ever gone on sale.
It's gone on CD keys. It's like fucking $16.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna wait till it's like I'll wait for 10.
Oh yeah, I'll buy it eventually.
It's not like the bad game in the series is the fucking like 2009, 2007, 2008.
That 360 one.
Inferno's a
fucking
great
mess.
I've heard it's bad. I've never played it.
If you guys ever cover that in 3D, I will happily, begrudgingly play through it.
I mean, I'll say the Dreamcast one was it called New Nightmare? That was actually not bad.
That one is the most interesting by far.
Yeah, because you can tell that's like post Resident Evil. It's even post Silent Hill, and you can tell they've took a lot of what made those games.
That's when Alone in the Dark became a Resident Evil clone.
Oh, absolutely, and it's better for it.
Resident Evil mixed with like Silent Hill to a degree.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that combine the two. Like
D2.
Yeah.
The worst part about the New Nightmare is the fucking enemies you spawn.
Yeah.
Yes,
they sure do.
I will be. Oh yeah, guys. In case you don't know, I do write for the SuperPod website, and I will probably be writing something about the Alone in the Dark series because I fucking hate myself and I want to suffer.
So
you found your new like hyperfixation.
My new Bionic Commando because I played all those fucking games.
Yeah.
I will say like the most interesting Alone in the Dark game, not counting the first one, might be that Game Boy Color version of New Nightmare.
Yeah,
it's on NSO, and I played a bit of it on there, and I was like, "This is like good."
It's
like
I was
also like, I think there's also like weird versions of the whatever fucking reboot, the PS360 version.
Inferno.
There's like different versions. I think the PS2 and Wii versions are different.
Yeah, well, usually during that era, the Wii version would be slightly different, and they
So,
just
like,
port that version to PS2 for the
and there's
home.
also
Yeah.
like a port of the New Nightmare to the PS2. Like that's what
So
I'm interested in. That's what
that's
I'm
like
interested in getting to is those
yeah,
versions.
that's like a port of the Dreamcast version, which was a port of the PS1 version.
Yeah. I
Oh, I didn't
from
know
what
that.
I
I
know,
didn't
the
even know it was a fucking
Dreamcast is the
PS1
better
version.
version.
Holy shit!
Hmm.
Yeah, it was 2001. So I mean, they were still making PS1 games in 2001. So.
I keep on forgetting it was a PS1.
That's when Dragon
game.
Quest VII came out.
Hell yeah!
I keep on forgetting it was on the PS1. The New Nightmare. I'm
I
somehow
I
surprised.
associate it with Dreamcast because it feels like a Dreamcast game.
I'm probably. I don't know. Just see if how far I get. If I just.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was originally a PC
up.
game.
Oh, I think it came out on PC, didn't it?
I think it was. I think it might have been maybe PC and PS1 probably and Dreamcast at the same time. I think.
So
I don't know.
the
Yeah.
Dreamcast version, like a lot of ports of PS1 games at that time, the Dreamcast version was basically the PC port
Yeah,
of its era.
because it could handle it, and it had like the CE integration, so it was like surprisingly easy to port PC games to Dreamcast back then.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, if you have
second thumbstick.
yeah, but if you have the Game Boy NSO, try out the Game Boy Color version.
It's interesting.
I mean, there's a decent line of Game Boy Color games that you're like, this is way better than it has any fucking right to be, and this is definitely one of those.
The Game Boy port is interesting, like the Resident Evil Game Boy game, like the weird.
Gaiden.
Yeah,
I would say the Alone in the Dark Game Boy is better than that.
It is. By
I'm
far,
not a huge
but
fan of Gaiden on Game Boy.
Gaiden's interesting more than
It
it's
is
interesting in that kind of stuff where it might not like be particularly like great or even good. It's probably at most okay, but it's interesting that it even happened.
Gaiden is interesting when you take into account that it was supposed to be like a prequel to the canceled Resident Evil 4 Fog version that we never got.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Fog version of Resident Evil 4, which looked like Silent Hill, is still like one of the more interesting.
I've never heard of that.
It was one of the
Resident Evil 4 went through like multiple versions.
I know. Like Devil May Cry started up as a Resident Evil 4, right?
I believe Onimusha also started out as Resident Evil.
I don't think it started as RE4, but Onimusha was that. It was either that or Onimusha was them just fucking with the RE engine, being like, what other games can we make with this? Oh, I think that's how Dino Crisis got born as well. But they're like, we have this engine, let's make other games with it.
Yeah. But yeah, so
but they're both not as good as Metal Gear on Game Boy Color.
Hell yeah. Gaiden, yeah, Metal Gear Ghost Babel. I love that game.
That is a really fucking good game.
Gaiden games for the Game Boy.
Game Boy Color has a very interesting lineup of games.
Metal Gear Ghost Babel on Game Boy is hilarious because it's basically like just a better version of Metal Gear 2. But there's so much fucking codec. I'm like, this is not meant for a Game Boy Color game.
No, it's not at all, but it is what it is.
Great game regardless. But yeah, I guess to wrap it up, yeah, I guess like Tony had mentioned, he's one of our many contributors over at the SuperPod Network. Mostly
Go follow
in the blog.
him on Blue Sky, goddammit.
Follow me on Blue Sky, goddammit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me on Blue Sky.
Yeah, he's at Tony Gear Solid.
I'll post your link down in the description for this episode. And be sure to check out his blogs over on the SuperPod Network. There are a bunch of them, and they are super well written.
His Bionic Commando article that he mentioned was great. Nice and comprehensive, and it made me go, I should play some of these, but I still haven't.
But don't play the reboot sucks. Play it and suffer.
I'll just play the NES Bionic Commando and get mad.
Oh, that's the best game.
You don't want to learn about Wife Arm?
Oh, the 360. I have the 361. I have it. I've been meaning to play it.
It's such a fucking.
I want to play it.
It's like just moments, like brief moments, which fucking good, and then it just turns really, really bad.
Is it better or worse than Dark Void?
Oh, the Dark Void fucking is awful. I need to beat it.
I
bought Dark Void the other day. I bought it. It was like $2.
I'm sorry.
It was
Bionic Commando remake
reboot.
I always laugh because the Bionic Commando reboot on PlayStation 3 and 360 It's not an awful game, but my god, that fucking story plot twist is still the most
no,
like,
Bill, no, Bill, no, Bill. It is an awful game.
I don't know. I had fun with it at
You
points.
also think Sonic 06 isn't an awful game, so I think you're
No, Sonic 06 is an awful game. I just have fun playing it.
this thing you can't in the Bionic Commando remake or reboot, like there's like invisible walls that like are of like toxic or whatever, but you're supposed to be fucking flying across the sky and shit, and you can't because if you go too far, you get killed. And these fucking invisible walls, it's so bad.
That plot twist. It's
Just,
like, what?
if you want, I don't know how angry I sounded in the article. I hope I was. I haven't read it in a while, but I'm pretty sure it came out how much I hate that game. It's not as bad as Dark Void. Dark Void fucking sucks.
I just love the idea of like you spend the entire game trying to find your wife.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, my wife is my arm.
My wife.
My wife.
And then you like
Wait,
fall in a hole,
uh-uh.
and it ends in a cliffhanger. You fall in like a hole or something after you find out, and it just like to be continued. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, and the best part is
See, all this makes me just want to play the game.
Well, I just can't get over the fact he was voiced by Mike Patton from Faith No More. It's such
Oh
a
my
weird
God.
choice.
That is
The thing
weird.
is though, I just like his like new design was awful. So like you can unlock a costume of the classic version, and I just wear that.
Well,
It
yeah,
makes it
because
kind of funnier.
he
Wait,
wasn't.
you don't want to play a guy with dreads?
Well, he wasn't Rad Spencer. He was Nathan Spencer because everyone was fucking Nathan in that era.
Oh God.
Bionic Commando played NES version.
Play
Yeah.
Rearmed too. Rearmed is fun.
Rearmed is
that's
good.
Fucking
Yeah.
fantastic. Rearmed 2, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like Rearmed too.
What's crazy is
reason
Rearmed
why-
1 was made by the same studio that made the reboot, which is still crazy to me.
Yeah.
Grin Grin also did Rearmed 2, I think.
Did they? I thought they were
I
close
don't.
to that.
I wrote the fucking article. I should know, but it's in that article. Read my article if you want to know the
It's
history.
just I love that Bionic Commando is a sequel to Commando.
Yes.
I
Is
love
it?
that. Yeah, it's a
Wow.
it's a direct sequel because in the NES Bionic Commando you are saving Commando from the first
that's
game.
right.
Mhm.
I missed that.
But
I love that little factoid.
But yeah,
Okay, guys.
for next week we are going to be covering the adventures of Captain J. I'm not going to say anything more. Wait till next week.
Yep.
But yeah, once again, guys, thank you for joining us on the 3DO experience. Tony, thanks for joining us. This was a fun chat.
It's about time I finally went on Bill's podcast because I've known him for fucking 3 years now.
Almost 4. Like it's
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
And I've always just been like guests with you when I still had my podcast, and now I'm actually on him on shows. So thank you for having me, Bill, and thank you for inviting me, Thrag.
Oh, always.
No worries.
I'll be back. We'll be back for whenever we do Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
Sometime
soon.
ish.
When I
Yeah.
decide to finally play it.
Yeah, I think it's we're just waiting on Thrak, honestly.
I mean, I've played and beaten it. I could talk about it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm playing. I'm halfway through the Saturn version, so I want to, even though it's still
Nice.
almost exactly the same. But
But
whenever
can
you
play
guys
as-
give me a date, I'll fucking finish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. Be sure to check us out over on SuperPod Network and follow Tony on Blue Sky.
Follow Tony. That's the most important thing.
Tony,
But,
Gear Solid.
Bye, guys.
Once again, guys, thank you for joining us. We will see you all later.
Bye-bye.